Hey,
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Sports Esports Podcast. I'm your host, William, and with me today I have Brock
hello.
and Brian.
Hello.
And this is our final LEC podcast. And if you guys watched, wasn't that fun?
Yeah,
if I'm going to be honest.
we're
Yeah,
ending it
it
with a
was
heater.
the NA waiting room where they just showed a professional team playing against bots.
Yeah, pretty much.
For two games.
So we'll talk about the first one. Kind of shocking, I thought. It was Origin versus Fnatic. The first game, Origin or Fnatic picked the Sona Tarek. Brock, tell me how you feel about Sona Tarek for Fnatic.
About as well as I feel about Sonatark for almost anyone else.
Really? Because I like it for a lot of teams. Don't like it on
Uh,
Fnatic.
I don't like it on Fnatic. I don't like it on Liquid.
It's true.
I don't like it on TSM.
I like it on TSM.
You don't like Team Liquid putting their star AD carry on Sona?
Pretty
Weird.
much any team that has like a super standout AD carry, I don't like it. If your AD carry is just good or lower, then it's like
If you have Deftly and whoever
Olay.
the heck, Olay, yeah, sure, let them play it.
If you have,
Yeah,
But
I think there's literally any other bot lane outside of in NA talking wise. There's almost any other bot lane you can work through that.
I don't mind it on C9 because it gives Sneaky the ability to survive laning phase.
Nope, it's a terrible laning phase. It's a difficult
Yeah, but he
laning
has
phase.
heals.
True, but it's a
He
very
has a spammable heal.
but
Sneaky needs to just get out of lane.
but we had Origin
Didn't
able
he
to
play
beat
it?
this. Yeah, they did, and they won.
yeah,
But
so suck it, Brock. Okay.
That was a good pick. Anyway, back to EU.
Mithy pulled out the Blitzcrank for it. Nuke Duck pulled out the Zed, and to counter the Zed, they picked Scion mid. I don't think that was necessarily a good pick because you don't really have much damage on this side, like team comp. The good part about Sonatark is you never die, but you're gonna die eventually if you don't do any damage on the receiving end. like
Well, the point of the Scion is to just survive the Zed and not get him
yeah,
fed in lane.
yeah.
And when you roam, you have an engage tool. You have a semi-global to get to lanes faster.
I get it in the sense that
I think it was perfect. I think it's the perfect mid laner for Sonatark. If you have a hyper carry in the jungle or top lane, I think it's perfect.
yeah, I mean, I guess you're right there because I guess Aatrox does a lot of damage. I think it was more just Whippo really lost hard against Alfari,
Yeah.
and that kind of steam. And then the bot lane also didn't. They got pulled a lot by Mithy. Like that's 2 kills within 8 minutes, and Varus is also an excellent pick into it because he can poke it down. And I know poke doesn't work late game, but it's really good early game in it. So like where a situation like Zoe's not good into it because she's not going to interact with the bot lane too much until late game. Like Varus is interacting all that early game, and I think that it's a pretty solid pick, especially into Sona, just being able to snipe her very squishy health bar.
Who was the jungler on the Sonatark team?
Kindred, Broxo.
Yeah,
Oh,
what'd he
yeah,
play?
Kindred.
What'd he play? Kindred. See, I think it's actually. I think their draft was actually really good. I just think they got beat
I just
because
I don't think Reckless plays mages very well, to be honest.
no, he definitely doesn't.
There's a reason he
I
benched
don't like.
himself.
I just don't like drafting, which could be biased because I'm a mid laner, but I don't like drafting mid lane into a losing lane. I don't necessarily like it, but I get why they did it. I just don't like it.
I like Sion and the Zed because like you said, it doesn't get it fed. I just don't like that they have like almost no damage on this team.
Well, I think that's kind of they were hoping Broxo would be the marksman carry, and he has his ult, so he can defy death, and you can Tark ult at the end of
Yeah,
that, so you can just keep him alive.
Yeah, it's a long.
But
Yeah, it's a very long
Aatrox
life.
can stay alive. Scion comes back to life. Like, it's a great comp.
It is. I did
Executed poorly.
Yeah. I look at here. They did 38k damage as a team
I missed
Yeah.
why you said you liked Scion and Zed.
because
Just
it doesn't
because
die.
you don't, you're not gonna play some. It's not gonna be your Yasuo mirror match who's going 0 and 10, and then the Zed's 11 and 0 and 1 at 12 minutes.
Been in
Yeah.
that game
Takes
before.
over the game.
Been in
He's
that
not
game as the
definitely-
ADC. It's not fun.
Yeah.
He's definitely not going to get fed in kills, but the only problem is you're giving Zed a free lane. Like, almost 300 CS.
I would take a 300 CSZ over a 250 CSZ and 5 kills.
I don't know. I don't like Zed, period.
Oh, I thought their ban on Silver was really strong too. If they had Blitzcrank as a pocket pick and Reckless on the other side, I thought the Silver ban was very strong. And Lissandra on Nemesis, blocking out that from Nemesis, also a strong ban.
Also, throughout these games, we found out that OG had Mithy on their team.
Like the real Mithy.
Yeah.
OG Mithy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
Back
the
in
one
the
that
day.
came to NA.
Because
Because
his clone.
Yeah, he crushed it in this Blitzcrank game. And then
I think Mithy just sent his younger brother
to NA.
to NA. Yeah, and it just like collected. They just split the cash.
Because game 2 he popped off on Taric as well. He went 0-3 and 21. And they played the Sona Taric into Fnatic's counter to it, which was Twitch Annie.
Which in the mic check they called immediately after they had the Sonatar.
So they definitely practiced this. It definitely worked. I see how Annie works because Sona and Taric stand next to each other the entire time, and that makes a nice little tippers pile. But I don't know. I just don't feel like I just don't like support Annie, to be honest. And
yeah, I mean her base damage isn't that high.
No,
where it's
you need
like
to
you're
build
just
the
gonna
items.
blow people up.
Like he has no AP items really
Yeah,
outside of
Shirelia's
Shirelia's.
first.
Yeah, that's
Get
40
at least
AP.
with Proto built first.
Hi, Jakob. Yeah, but yeah, Protobot would have been better in my opinion. At least some type of AP. Like he has a total of 100 AP in his items. No, yeah, 135. I lied. But yeah, still, it's not like a ton. For if the whole point is to blow up the comp before the Taric ult comes down. You know, like that's the whole point. And why not play Brand into that? Like he doesn't need any items for damage. And I'm not a fan of the Twitch pick with it.
Thank you.
He's also
Ooh,
equally
thank
as
you, Brian.
immobile.
Well, favorite stream Brian is the best analyst. That's a very biased opinion there by B Brick in the chat.
I think Beaver. Thanks, man.
Can we time
Means a
out
lot.
that guy?
Can we
How do we time out somebody?
Timeout moderator. So.
Yeah, I don't think you can. Thank you, Brian. But
Yeah. Thanks, Brian.
yeah. I think that Twitch is. I don't like the Twitch pick at all. The whole point is to blow the comp up early. You have a very fine window going into this comp to win, and it's before 35 minutes. And if you don't get ahead in the first 15 minutes, you're likely not going to survive. At least from what we've seen so far. And they didn't. They got ahead a little bit. I actually did get ahead towards 22-minute mark with that Baron, but that was not necessarily because of Reckless and Hylissang. That was more because of Broxa. Because the other thing I want to talk about here is Broxa played the Rek'Sai, and then OG picked Jarvan into it, and I'm like, I swear to God,
It's the worst.
And then they tricked us and put it top lane, and it worked. It didn't really work against the Rek'Sai, but it still worked to counter out Bwipo on Aatrox. Where are you going, Sam?
Yeah, it's like you think these teams. Do you never watch any analysis at all and like hear what they're saying about you or any other team that you're gonna play?
Or
they've
just
been talking about
stats?
Jarvan Rek'Sai for forever.
We're not the only one with the stats.
What?
I was just saying, do they not look at the stats?
Well, I was just talking about like
10?
the casters talking about it, the analysts talking about it. But I mean, it worked, so whatever. It wasn't jungle, so it's fine.
But yeah, it did work absolutely, and it was because they were able to throw the Skarner in, which is a pretty big counter to the Rek'Sai. And then we also kind of had to talk about Nuke Duck going 12-1, decent score on Rek'Sai.
Pretty good. It's a good
Rise.
player.
Rise.
Yeah.
Good
And
player.
that's the damage I'm looking for though with this team comp. someone who can step up and do loads of damage in an AoE, because you have to AoE to kill them. To kill the death ball, you have to all pile in together to try and blow it up. Where if you're all together, then Nukta can fire with Rise against them. So I think it's pretty strong in that sense.
It actually gets to spread the spell flux.
Yeah, and does a ton of damage, surprisingly.
Oh, no damage.
Yeah, they were able to hold out, and they eventually did win this game in 37 minutes. So Origin started this series at 2-0. Game number 3, Fnatic just came back and they stomped this game. Honestly, this game was just a flat out blowout. Remember we were praising Nukeduck's Rise? Didn't make it this time. He went 1-5. But it wasn't just him. The bot lane went 0-5. Hylissang pulled out the Pike, which is nice to see. And we got to see a fed Vayne for Reckless, so he was playing a in the meta type carry, which is also cool. And then we had Nemesis playing his Lissandra, who's very good at. And then Origin did it. They tricked us last game. Sorry, I just spit everywhere. I'm so angry. They tricked us last game, being like, "Yeah, you thought we were dumb enough to we thought you were dumb. Oh my god, you thought we were dumb enough to pick the Jarvan and the Rek'Sai? Just kidding. We're gonna pick it into Aatrox. Oh, next game we're picking Jarvan and the Rek'Sai, by the way."
Yep.
They just wanted to see if it was actually true.
they're like, "Hey, this works, you know." Who said Jarvan's counter?
Can't be that bad.
Oh my god, it was infuriating to see, and they got blown out doing this, like completely blown out. Oh, it's not pretty, not a pretty game. Game number 4 though. Game number 4 was a pretty good game where we had Alphari popping off on the gangplank, and Nukeduck on Silas. Just pretty much, we had the Ash Tom Kench, as I've said multiple times, best bot lane duo, one of the best bot lane duos. And then you had Hylissang back on the Pike, which I thought was a good pick. Honestly, I didn't like Bwipo on Aatrox every single game. Sometimes he was good, sometimes he wasn't. This game was definitely on the other side.
I think that's his favorite champion.
Yeah, he really does like it. He really does like the Aatrox. I just think that it didn't work out against Gangplank, which it should have. It's a very big lane bully.
I mean, y'all do remember the interview where he said that if you leave Aatrox open, he's just gonna take it and smurf on you.
Yeah. Didn't happen.
I feel like there's a lot more games where it doesn't happen.
Yeah. At least this split. Like, he was towards the end of in Worlds last year, yes. You know? Yeah, he was smurfing on people with Aatrox. This split, not so much. A lot more Ents than not Ents, let's say that. But we also had Nukeduck destroying Nemesis. Nemesis, who I personally thought was one of the stronger points of Fnatic this split, really did not look good in this series at all. Nukeduck, like they call him the rookie destroyer, like he definitely took advantage of Nemesis in this entire series.
And also, I feel like we haven't said it in a while, but it is always nice to say "I told you so" when you see a Silas buy a Lich Bane. We haven't mentioned that in a while, but it's still
I mentioned it to Brian during the game. I'm like, Nukeduck bought the Lich Bane. There we go. It's like, well, look at the passive on the Lich Bane. It makes total sense for Silas's passive. Spellblade. Yeah. After using an ability, the next basic attack deals 75% base attack damage plus 50% of ability power, bonus match damage on hit. That's basically the same thing as Silas's passive is anytime he uses an ability, he gets an empowered auto attack for his next auto attack. How is this not built every single game?
Well, leave the tanks to your top laners, boys.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad he built it. I feel vindicated. The only one that was building it was like Dragon Gate and Jin Air, and I was like, "Are we in the wrong? are we wrong, Brock?"
Please, not those teams. Anything but those teams.
Well, yeah, Origin looked so much different in this series than they looked against Fnatic when they had lost to them. Against G2 when they lost to them to fall down to this series. So then I was actually like feeling like, oh, maybe I didn't think they'd ever gonna beat G2, but I'm like, maybe they can make it a little competitive. Maybe it was like a nervous first series, you know?
That's definitely what I thought.
Game 1 was kind of close actually. Just very similar pattern if you watch the first time these two teams faced. Game 1 was sort of close. Like, Nuke Duck was actually popping off on the rise. Perks and Mickey started with Sonataric, and then once Sonataric started getting going about 20 minutes, the game was over. Like, I know they had a lead from 20 minutes to 25 minutes, but you knew, like, at 20 minutes, Sonataric didn't get shut down by the Varus, which it had originally when OG played it against Fnatic. Didn't work this time. Their counter to it did not work, and just the whole game from there was pretty easy for Fnatic to pick up the win.
Good.
Then game number 2, we'll go through these we'll go through these as fast as these games win.
For real.
Game number 2, 25 minutes, complete blowout by G2, 24-7. You have a 7-3-5 on Wonder on Rise, who's one of the best Rises in the league. You have Caps on Pike, and you're like, weird, why'd you skip over Yankos on Morgana teleport? Yeah, it's because I was going to talk about that next. But Caps went 6-0-11 on the Pike mid. That was pretty spicy. And oh yeah, we had a funnel comp. Because it wasn't actually Pike mid. It was Pike bot lane with Morgana. Because we just had funnel again. Don't know where this came from. Haven't seen it all split. But apparently, I did find it cool that Origin knew pretty much right away once they picked the Morgana in that they were going to do funnel.
Yeah, that was good to hear.
Yeah, they knew it. They didn't succeed against it though. I was thinking it was gonna work out fine. Honestly, like when I was watching it, like live the draft, I'm like, why would you pick funnel into Sonataric? It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you make it weaken your bot lane by having it just be Pike Morgana and then have no jungler to come gank because your jungler is busy farming mid lane? Like, it didn't make sense to me. It still doesn't kind of make sense to me because I think logically it doesn't make sense. But G2 just performed it so well that it didn't matter.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I think after the first game, G2 just kind of knew that it really did not matter what they did anymore.
Yeah, they were like, okay, this is easy. Because then even after this was at least exciting because we all funnel comp. Game number 3. Oops, I just exited out. That's how fast the game went too, right there. Game number 3. 18 minutes, 31 seconds.
Fastest game of the year.
Ever.
For the last game.
Wasn't that for all of LEC?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, at least all of LEC playoffs. I think it was all of LEC in general.
I think the only games that were faster than that were like ones where teams surrendered in Korea, like way back in the day.
Yeah. It was pretty ugly. The Akali did nothing against Jace. Jace kind of destroyed it. Wonder's Rise, still very good Rise. Perks on the Nico, pretty good against the Draven. Draven looked very bad in the Nico. And 18 minutes, don't know what to say. Just so you know,
Thanks.
18 minutes, this team comp almost did as much damage as Fnatic's team comp with the Sonataric Scion. They only did 10k less, even though it was an 18-minute game. And that by that I mean Origin, not G2. G2 almost doubled it, and it was 18 minutes. Yeah, quite a big blowout. Don't know much to say. It was very boring to watch, to be honest, in a sense that I wanted to watch a good series, and I was like, oh, I'm watching. Is Gennaro out there on the? No, according to LS, so Gennaro would beat G2, but you know. I don't agree. I like a lot of what Alan says. I don't agree with that one at all. the KT and Janair are better in G2. I think G2 is pretty close to top 5 in the world. I don't know if I'd give them top 5, but they're damn close to it.
Yeah.
I'd have to go over the teams again. I haven't done that in a while. But yeah, they're definitely the best team in the West, in my opinion. And second is Team Liquid. And I used to think Origin was had a potential there to be the best team in the West. That is wrong.
Wrong.
They look so outmatched to G2. I'm just very surprised with how healthy they look with Mickey X. But actually, Mickey X still has the issues with the wrist, so I'm kind of worried about MSI a little bit for G2 in that sense, where it's going to be a lot of games back every day, and they're going to be practicing. So that I still have a warning. On G2, I'm not like some of the people I saw on Reddit that said G2 has a really like a super real shot to win all of MSI. I think
I don't think it would be the craziest thing ever if they
if
did.
if IG makes it, I think it'll be pretty crazy if they win.
Yeah, it
If
would
they
be
went
pretty
through
crazy.
if they went through IG
But they're
and
not gonna
SKT,
make it because my team,
you never picked them. You never
my
picked
team is gonna make it. JDG.
Yeah,
Let's go. Haboo.
that is 2 days from now. So that will be. I'm really rooting for IG. Well, as a deep down like Liquid Wise, like
Why are you rooting for IG?
I love IG, man. They're so cool. But like Liquid Wise, I'm like, if JDG makes it, maybe there's a chance.
Mm, I think you're disrespecting my boys, but okay.
I like JDG. I honestly did think going into playoffs.
Yeah.
I will
Whatever.
say JDG I picked as the worst team in the playoffs. Sorry, I was wrong. It was
You were
EDG.
definitely wrong.
It was EDG. Like I should have put it. They should have never been there. Sorry, that's a rant for LPL. But yeah, this was a blowout victory for G2. They won completely against all of the LEC. They look by far like the best team. And going to MSI, I say they're definitely probably going to make semifinals. Depending on their opponent, decent chance at finals. I would say that. I don't think they'd win finals because I see either IG or SKT on the other side of that, and I don't see them beating either of those teams.
I don't see IG and SKT being on the same side of the bracket because
Yeah.
they're gonna want that final.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If G2 does make finals, one of them is going to be on the other side, like SKT or IG. Unless Team Liquid pulls the upset against either of those two teams.
Yeah, which is gonna happen because NA is the best.
Totally going to happen. I'd love it. I'd be.
Y'all okay?
I'd be even more excited than I was against TSS. Like I'd be freaking out. But yeah, that should do it for the LEC. Do we have any? We don't have any relegations to talk about. So
Nope.
I think that's it. So thank
think
you
it
guys
is.
for coming to watch our LEC podcast. We only have 2 more podcasts on the split. For LPL will be Sunday, where we talk about the winner of JDG versus IG. And then we also will talk about Film Plus Phoenix and Top Sports. As well as we have one more LMS podcast, which is going to be Monday this week, where we will talk about the winner of Flash Wolves versus Mad Team. And with that, we will be done until MSI, where we will come back and I will try to talk about all the minor regions that I don't really know much about at the moment. I have to study up a lot, but I'll try to study those quickly. And
You should just watch every game from the season for those teams, at least the ones that made it. That'll be a good
yeah.
200 hours of games for you to watch.
Yeah, I don't want to watch more. I'm taking my 2-week break.
I'm just joking anyway.
No, I kind of know. I've thought about watching highlights though, and I don't even want to do that. I want a nice 2-week break. Thank you guys for coming to watch, and we will see you Sunday. Bye.
Bye.
All right. That is that. Now I got 10 minutes before Critical Role. Thank you guys.
That's why he wanted to do